So it's more single sculls, and this is the Princess Royal Challenge Cup, which is the women's equivalent, the open women's single sculls, attracting international competitors from around the world. And we've got Tabea Schendekehl, who is competing for the University of Washington, USA, on the left of our picture, and Imogen Grant, Cambridge University and British team from Tokyo competitor, on the right.
Yeah, on the right of the screen we've got Imogen Grant, an absolute class competitor. I mean, you'd have seen her earlier this year. She was stroking the women's blue boat to victory for Cambridge, and alongside, within a few weeks of that, was winning the lightweight women's singles trials at the national trials for Great Britain. So, I mean, ferociously competitive, you know, easily moving from lightweight sculling to heavyweight sweep rowing and sort of back again. And, I mean, this will be a big draw here today. She's a big name within the team, and is a brilliant, as I said, brilliant competitor, brilliant rower. So it's lovely seeing her already taking that strong lead.
So I was lucky enough to be commentating yesterday when both of these women raced. Well, Tabea Schendekehl, as you can see in the yellow boat there, she actually had a scull over. Her opponent withdrew, so this is the first chance to have a race, and maybe that's a bit of a disadvantage. Imogen Grant yesterday was up against Sarah Mackay from Grosvenor and put in a really strong performance. And she's a great competitor, isn't she? As you said, she only started rowing in about 2014. She found her way into the Cambridge lightweights, into the British team, into competing in the lightweight double sculls at Tokyo, winning at Henley. And here she is in a single, little lightweight single, putting down a marker for everybody else in the Princess Royal Challenge Cup.
Yeah, and again, just handling the conditions very well. We've just seen with Schendekehl, just a few clips either side of, you know, it's the conditions are good, but the water's, like we've said before, just a little bit rough, a little bit unpredictable, and we can just see a few catches on both sides of the blade there for the University of Washington sculler. But Imogen Grant, used to this course, used to these conditions, and coping very well. Yeah,
and I think one of the things, and I fess up to this, the shoulders getting a bit tight and tense when the water's rolly is something that you often struggle with. And you can look at Imogen Grant, she's got this knack of being able to row over the top of everything. So you can see the shoulders are low down from her neck and her ears. There's not much tension there, and it's almost like a sort of shock absorber. Whereas if you get a little bit grippy in the oars because you think you might lose a blade because the water might knock you, that can make the arms tight and the shoulders tight, and then everything starts to be a little bit less fluid and a little bit less efficient. But this is great sculling from Imogen Grant at Cambridge.
And this is definitely one of the advantages in a two-boat race. If you've got this sort of lead where it does get comfortable, you know, then the shoulders naturally come down. The rhythm lengthens out. There's nothing else you need to do. I mean, the main thing is obviously to keep an eye on your opposition. So there's no sneaky moves that you can't see coming, and you can react quickly. But there's always this judgment, and I remember, especially in crew boats, you have this almost unspoken decision of how far do you take the rate down and how far do you let it come down. And I used to always take it down far too low for some of my crewmates who did not like it. But, you know, it's a sort of game you can play with yourself, because you want to, again, you know, especially if you've got day after day racing, conserve as much energy as you can without getting drawn back into another sort of battle, because the risk is if you let it come down too low, your opposition is still chasing. The opposition can get on a roll of momentum and you can be caught out quite quickly. So, you know, but Imogen's very experienced. She'll know exactly what she needs to do in this race. She'll have it, you know, within a comfort zone right now. I'm sure it'll still be slightly painful, but you know, she's got the rhythm she needs. She's got the distance. She knows this course well. She'll just know she's going to do almost the minimum to win to get ready for tomorrow.
Exactly. So that's Imogen Grant from Cambridge, but now looking at the back of Tabea Schendekehl, University of Washington. She's originally from Dortmund, and she is pushing her way through, well, the third quarter of the course here. Sculling well, but probably a little bit harder dealing with the rougher conditions here, just as we were talking about.
Yeah, I think Schendekehl's putting in a good, strong performance. Again, you can see, like we were saying at this end, you can see the boat. It's not dipping. It's, you know, it's still running really smoothly. She's doing a good job, but it just feels, you do see that tension in the shoulders. You do see the sort of either side of the blade slightly clipping. So she's just struggling a little bit more than we see Imogen Grant doing here.
So Imogen Grant, quite a confident scull. She led pretty quickly from the start, despite the difference in weight category and the kind of power that is usually associated with it, but nice strong sculling from her. The wind, I think, is getting up a little bit more as we go into the afternoon session here on Friday at Henley Royal Regatta. The enclosures are full of rowing fans and supporters. And Imogen Grant crossing the line first, ahead of Tabea Schendekehl. So Princess Royal, Imogen Grant of Cambridge University beats Tabea Schendekehl from University of Washington.